most of the time. If the Orc gets far ahead, he's always tier 3, he can throw on that pocket expo. So we see that every now and then, yes, but by that point, usually the Orc may have already won. But this is a matchup that is about creeping, about leveling up, about map control, about getting as much of the map as possible. And the first map is gonna be AI, which, Neo, is it time? Are we going in?
We are live in the first game of GCS, while the overlay is wrong, and I will change it in a second. There we go. Production value corrected. From the Belarus, starting in Orcish Red. This is OrcWorker. This is one of the 4 European hopes that we have. And of course, this is the guy who wants to be the first player in the world to defend his GCS title. And we're off to a great start with the HP bar bug.
Yeah, if you guys are familiar with... How did you do that?
I pressed Alt.
That doesn't usually work.
Nope. But, you know,
we're blessed.
This time, a lot of stuff goes right, so even the HP bar bug can be fixed.
We have been collecting karma in China so hard. This is our 4th consecutive year here, having been to WCA and GCSs before, thanks in large, or basically all of it, to the community, to all of you, and we get a chance again. And the HP bar bug is back. Okay, interesting. Anyways, we've had so much bad luck last couple of years, but this time everything's pretty good. I guess.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
I've been trying to jinx it for 2 days now. It's stressing me out. But yeah, everything. I mean, setup isn't perfect. We're still trying to get a better microphone and stuff. But you know, so good. So far, so good. And now we're gonna see the Blade Master hop out of the altar in a second. He's going for a 2-burrow tech here, which is of course standard against Undead, unless Undead goes super fast tech. But of course, well, that's kind of interesting. He goes 2-burrow tech, but still doesn't go scouting with a peon. And also an unusual Voodoo Lounge placement. His Voodoo Lounge placement is obviously very far forward, helps you accelerate your creeping, get to heal cells faster. But if you run up against a tier 3 timing push with a Pit Lord, you lose your shop so fast. And kind of need that shop. So already it seems to me like OrcWorker is taking a pretty big risk.
Yeah, I think he has to, man. He is the underdog. He's not the better player in this encounter. So he has to take risks. And if it works, it's going to be great. But we see 120 stealing so many creeps with his low HP units and low damage units. And will it happen with the Acolyte here? No, he's using the Windwalk. Gets the big one. Ring of Protection for him as well. While in the meantime, the Undead is creeping the shop.
Remo special creep routes right here, being presented for the first time. This is of course not a spot that is has been invented by me or whatever, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. You like to mention this over and over, how especially the last 2 years creeping has improved so much. Law Lyot, I think the player amazing us the most with how far you can push creeping, and other races are catching up as well. Lots of crabs have been spotted which can easily be cracked by only the DK, and look at this! DK plus skeletons, he's level 2!
He's level 2 all of a sudden. We see sentry wards here, but the Blade Master was there super close, so if he dives in like 1.2 seconds earlier, he's gonna get the Null Overseer, so not that bad opening for OrcWorker as it seems. He's teching, of course, more grunts in production. I think he wants to go for more pressure with more grunts early on, prevent the creeping from 120, which is of course crazy. Level 3 for him, as easy as can be. And yeah, what's he going to do now? He's trying to find something.
He obviously saw there was DK first, followed up by late Fiend, so this means very fast tech for the Undead, and with him having chosen the 2-burrow tech, he knows the tech of those 2 players should be about the same. So he's not trying to go aggressive himself, but trying to maybe get towards level 3, and he's only level 1 himself. And again, 120, his skeleton scouting is the best in the world. This is kind of the high benchmark for undeads nowadays. The skeleton scouting who goes to the last hit towards...
Zero, obviously, but we see the Wand of the Wind, and maybe he can go for a surround if he uses it right now. There we go. OrcWorker trying to go for it. 4 units around, easy against Cyclone, of course. He suffered so hard from it, and he gets it. But is the damage gonna be enough? He throws a coil onto the Blade Master, has to use Windwalk, and has to get out of there. First Fiend joins the fray as well, and the Grunt is taking so much damage. It doesn't look good. Second Wand of the Wind being used, and now the heal salves kick in. OrcWorker with good saves here, but 2 charges already used on the Wand of the Wind.
And another pretty big risk being taken by OrcWorker, creeping that red camp first. He knew it was DK fast DK into late Fiend, so he knows there's a lot of aggression potential early on, and he knows who he's up against here about the skeleton scouting and everything, and he still goes for it and almost loses the blade because of it. So far, so good.
Almost. Exactly, just almost. He's still not level 2 though. The big experience went towards 120, who is level 2.5 already. This is quite a good progress. He can creep the red spot with ease as well with a lot of skeletons. He's getting them here. He has a new charge from the Rod of Necromancy. So mass skeletons as always in the early game from the Chinese human. And OrcWorker has to deny this, I feel. Like, that would be like a 6-minute level 3 or 6.5-minute level 3, which would be crazy. But he's creeping at the same time, so he prefers the progress on his own heroes.
He needs some items here. He needs like a pendant, he needs claws. The null needs to be good to him. It's good in like creeping stage, mid-game stage, save some heal cells. But
especially in the mid-game stage when you choose the Shadowhunter second or whatever TC, maybe if he's crazy, but I don't think so. The Blade Master is roaming around, then the Ring of Regeneration really is helpful.
Yeah, that's true. Utility absolutely good, but in a head-to-head fight, there's obviously better stuff to be found. Yes, this DK man, look at the freedom he has. Usually before you have Lich with Frost Armor, that's kind of a dangerous spot for undeads to be in because you can run into Ensnare Hex, but his tech was so fast, OrcWorker's tech was not so fast on the other side. And now he's half a level behind. And the Lich is about to be out, but now 120 is still out on the map. SH is coming across, I think, but also we see the first Frost Armor being thrown down, and the Lich should keep this army safe.
Yeah, thanks to the 2 burrow tech, the Shadowhunter is a little later because the tech in general is a little later, so he misses the timing where Hex is super effective against Fiends because now he can protect them with Frost Armor, so timing a little out the window for OrcWorker here, but he's still decent, I think. He's on the way to tier 3, almost done. Warmel there for Kodo Beast as well. We have Ensnare upgrade, and that's the next big power spike for OrcWorker.
Does he have 1 or 2 scrolls of speed, by the way? Could you check? He has 2. So aggression potential is pretty big with this. 20 seconds of hasted move speed. Is it really hasted? I guess we could call it hasted. Because of course Frost Armor slow won't apply. Oh, and of course still damage reduction. And the confidence from 120. He has 3 fiends, no statues here, no tier 3 obviously, and he's so aggressive in his opponent's face, trying to go for the DK. Don't forget about that scroll of speed, which he's still not using. Here's the first one. Trying to block with the Fiend as well to keep the Grunt from getting away, but he will. However, the Blade Master trying to chase after this DK, but he's next to his shop soon, and of course healing potions, so won't be able to do this. Now the Lich all left on his lonesome. No coils around to be used, but again, 120's confidence, man, is something to behold. Every undead player, including me, must be looking at this and going like, how is this possible? How is this possible? You're creeping with only a Lich, DK's far away, you're taking his creep camp. Usually, it is always considered, alright, undead, pretty good race, but not before tier 3. Before tier 3 it's pretty bad, but what 120 is making happen here, before he has that ever so desirable Orb of Corruption. Well, he is the champion, Neo.
That's true, and it's also very impressive how he keeps the entire army low without doing too much. He sends in skeletons again, denies the heal cells over and over. And so he constantly has to use heal cells again. That costs a lot, and that takes a little bit out of his economy. Now the first Berserker, OrcWorker side, but as you can see, everything is red, and if there's a creep jack coming, oh my God. I don't know, man. This might be a town portal, but I don't think he has one. Blade Master's here. No, there's none. Sobi Mask, though. Good item. He's not losing anything.
And the Blade Master was spotting for this, not even in Windwalk because he doesn't have too much mana. He also had the Wand of the Wind to cyclone up the DK in case he wanted, you know, to come in and try to steal something, try to kill something. But this blade is worrying me. Yeah, the Ankh could be good to save the Lich, or maybe the third hero will often be sold, but he will keep it this time. And it is the Pit Lord, and this is kind of the timing push on tier 3, and this is really dangerous if you lose your shop early. This needs to be rebuilt in the main right now.
He doesn't go for it just yet. I don't know if there's upgrades already for 120. Do we see the Destroyer upgrade? Okay, clock is ticking. I will leave this open so we all know when it's time for Destroyer. The shop is gone, and okay, he does have the Orb of Lightning. That's a big addition, especially to snipe statues. Okay, he goes for the push without Destroyer upgrade.
Alright, Howl of Terror coming in, 30% damage reduction, everything. Going for the Blade Master first, who will just die! He had an invul, but he wasn't quick enough to use it. And that's a quick GG already. Wasn't ready for that timing. His hero levels were 2, 2, 1, way too bad to deal with the tier 3 orb timing. Pitlord, one of the best heroes in the game on level 1, 30% damage reduction is kind of crazy. Yeah. You apply that to everything. There was basically no threat in that army for OrcWorker to begin with, but if there was, he had something to deal with that. And OrcWorker, he's looking like, I don't know what to do, man. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into it.
Yeah, maybe you are. I am setting up the restream here, so we didn't have the address before.
We have Caroline here, who is rocking new glasses. Haven't seen that before. And Jeremy, our translator and voice from the community. Maybe we can do Jeremy's Corner or something like that. Stealing blatantly, obviously, from TI7. At least I'm not familiar with the girl caster here. Can you tell us who she is, maybe? Exit.
Well,
all right. Can you hold the microphone?
Yes. The girl is Snow Kiss from New TVs, and mostly she casting the Hearthstones.
Ah, okay. Must be glad to see how that first game turned out. Their champion kind of dismantling our orc from Europe, honestly.
Yeah, I really hope that this would be a lot better for OrcWorker, but AI, I feel not the best orc map, especially concerning the items. There's nothing super big to find there. It's not a Pimp and Blade Master map. And the next one is Amazonia, which is pretty similar to AI, but it's OrcWorker's choice. So why do you think he's going for AZ?
Actually, I had a discussion with him about that yesterday in the player area. He's very, very... he puts a lot of emphasis on early creep routes. He says he puts a lot of time into figuring out what the best ones are. And here he thinks he has it figured out. And if I recall correctly, he said he's going to take his own Renegade Wizard and then heal up with heal salves, and then go where to the undead will oftentimes be creeping with a fast DK to kill the troll, and he should be in time to steal the troll if the undead doesn't secure the kill perfectly with a coil. So, and of course, we saw in the last game how important a good early start is. He had a horrible start in the last game, never got off the ground. He was just behind in almost every regard, and when that is the case against 1-0, you just get destroyed by timing like this. Yeah, AZ. Also, if you want to be aggressive, very easy map to do it on. It's the smallest map we have in the map pool. There's also sentry wards like everywhere on this map. There's 4 camps for sentry drops. Usually something the Blade Master does prefer, because obviously claws of attack, pretty good. But if you have sentries like 2 outside the main of your opponent, you always know where he's going to be. It's such a small map. You have. I remember Jaws and me talking about sentry wards way back in the day, 2015 at WCA. We were like, dude, this item is so imba. It's so overpowered.
I don't think it's imba, but it's definitely good. And there's a trend on maps towards more consumables, especially with the new LV maps. So we will see more of them. That will be more vision on the map and maybe more creep checks. So I definitely like that.
Yeah. Of course, doesn't have to be sentry wards, obviously. Yeah. Could be ones of illusion, ones of lightning shield, and well, replenishment. I always get them mixed up, replenishment or restoration, but it's replenishment, right?
It's replenishment.
Yeah. Having a bit of a pause here again. Do they like start the games and then wait for the commercials to end and then, you know what I mean? Ah, okay, that's unusual, but makes sense, I guess.
So this is the first. We're moving too fast for the camera. Oh, sorry about that. This was the first map and so dominated. What do you think is going on in OrcWorker's mind right now? It's his first GCS, and I mean he played WCA, but that was in one internet cafe with a feeling of like practice games because of the environment back there. And now he's in a booth. I don't think we have seen it yet, but he's in a pretty cool booth now. And the environment is just totally different from what he ever experienced.
Yeah, he's kind of like on main stage now. Maybe that does affect him. I wouldn't necessarily assume that for him, because I feel like he's a really calm and collected guy. But just looking at the game, if I was him, I'd be so scared right now. Because he didn't really play so bad. He just made a few little mistakes, took like one or two risks here or there, and he got punished for everything.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter what he did that wasn't perfect, he got assaulted by 1-0. So if I'm in his shoes, I'm thinking to myself, oh man, I better don't make a mistake this game. Otherwise, it's gonna be quick 2-0. Of course, he has the safety net in the back of his mind. All right, this is not single elimination. Excuse me. I do have the lower bracket, and the other two players in my group, they are probably easier.
Yeah.
So
exactly. This is not the game that he has to win. This is like a game to get used to the setting, to get used to the tournament, and yeah, to like dip a toe into the water. How GCS is for him. The other two games, hopefully two games, are way more important against Infi, who he beat before, and Colorful, definitely the weakest Chinese player in this group. So even if he's getting dominated here by 1-0, this is what we all expected, and that shouldn't be too bad for him, I guess.
I must say I was having a little Cinderella story for OrcWorker in my head laid out. I was like, oh, last year it was Infi. This year, he's coming back. He's been practicing. He's been anime style, having a montage back at home in Belarus, getting ready for this year. So far, that didn't happen, but he still has a chance to show us.
Seems like we do have a little bit of time, and if they show commercials, we have to thank you guys. A lot of subscribers and donations. Thendis, thank you very much. Good luck, guys. My biggest dream is to cast a Warcraft 3 LAN event, and you get to do it every year. And I envy you so much, but you have worked hard for it. Less than 3. Thank you very much. DADK, thank you. DG177, FK Gaming Push, Underwood Frank, subscribed as well. Zinrock, 40 euros, man. 4 a.m., no prob. Wouldn't miss it. Thanks, guys, for your dedication to the scene as always, and super excited for this week. Used to enjoy Shanghai. Oh, we did already, man. We did enjoy Shanghai. Thank you, ACDR92, Finest KO, and Kiemfarm for the subs as well. So I think we're about to be ready. We see...
Is that
1-0.
Is that Kim Pham? Is that the Blizzard girl?
I don't know, maybe.
I think that is like written differently though, so I don't think so. Anyways, if you follow our Twitter, twitter.com/back2warcraft, you may have seen that we were hanging out with ATSP Shanghai. So far it's been a blast for us. For OrcWorker, not so much yet, it seems. Map number 2, though, is gonna be his chance to show us differently, show us how strong he can be. And I'm convinced, you will not convince me otherwise, Neo, that he does have a chance here, because he is basically the only orc in Europe that can reach Happy, that can touch one of the gods of Jera Cup. Focus oftentimes is presenting a difficulty for Happy, but also is OrcWorker. Now, it's not like they got a 50-50 win rate, it's far from that, but he does win a series every now and then. So there is a sparkle of hope, Neo.
Yeah, his recent results were pretty good, I think. 2 semifinals in Jera Cup in the last 4 weeks, so it's definitely pointing upwards for him. He had quite a bad time before the GCS qualifiers, and then he qualified, and I think that gave him a little motivation boost, and showed off in his results as well. On the other side, 1-0, maybe a little bit on the downslide even. Not too many big wins recently in tournaments. He went to the Taito Esports Masters Finals, but he was crushed by Fly 3-0 there. So that was not what we all expected. We want him to be the #1 dominator in the scene that he was in January, but not anymore. There are many people who can contest him now.
Yeah, it was obviously when he had his first breakout performance, which was... What was it even? Was it WCA 2015 maybe? That was the first time it really popped heavily onto my radar, because it was Moon saying, you know what, 1-0, he is the most talented guy I see out there at the moment. And he has been backing up that statement with a lot of results, and I was always impressed like how consistent he is. Everyone has a bad day, everyone has a bad tournament every now and then, but he, it seemed for a while there, was unable to not make it to the final, or at least semi-final of a tournament. But as you say, you're right, he hasn't been as dominant, but it would of course be crazy to keep this up for too long. He's again going for the fast Acolyte scout with the fast DK up. Oh my god. That was almost the last hit with the Acolyte there.
Ooh, split second, man. But he gets the kill now, and that will result in level 2 and critical strike if he's not contested by the Blade Master, by the DK, which he's not, because once again, 120 is focusing on creeping, and especially on AZ. 120 has a very cool creeping strategy, where he goes to the mercenary camp just with skeletons and his DK, and he lures out the other creeps the Renegade Wizard, and gets a big item from that. I wonder if we will see it. But as you can see here, OrcWorker, man, 2 units super duper low, but first clause of attack.
And the level 2 took him a long time to reach last game. And he absolutely knows about this possibility for the Undead to, as you say, lure out the creeps and attack the Renegade Wizard that stays behind by himself, basically. But 120 isn't gonna do that, which he could have done it in the bottom right. There's no grunt scouting for that or anything. He's gonna get level 2 here from this, and yeah, the Blade Master can do the same what the Undead can do with DK and Skeletons. Blade Master can do just like basically by himself. And this has so many good items for the Orc, and I got a feeling he's gonna need them. Oh no!
Really
is it the one bad one?
It's basically the one bad one, yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Well, I mean, Belt of Giant Strength and stuff is not great, but it still has a purpose. This one will be sold, and look at the item on the Death Knight. Lich will be happy, a little more attack speed for him, but it's an interesting choice by 120 to be that passive, I think. Staying close to his base, not moving out, not going to the Merc camp, not harassing at all. So, is he expecting some cheese, or I don't know. Now he has level 2, now he has Unholy Aura, and now he can move out, and that makes things a lot harder for OrcWorker. But he has a plan, and that plan is to get the second Renegade Wizard. And how are the odds to get 2 Lion Horns?
You're trying to jinx it, aren't you?
Never.
Looking for a better item here. I think though, 120, yes, he's being passive here, but I think he's totally satisfied with this. I actually think the belt is pretty good. Hero focus always a dangerous thing that might be coming out, as we saw in map number 1. But yeah, anyways, DK is attacking really fast. He started creeping without any units, so if he's trading experience for experience, that's, you know, it's good for him. He's got a fast attack, he's got a little investment into the early game, so he's gonna be fine with trading XP, and this time they are basically dead even, almost dead even in terms of XP.
And super important that he contested this creep spot with the 2 grunts and get 120 away, because otherwise there's level 3 for him, there's level 2 coil, and then it's of course super easy to support the fiends with coils and health automatically. Tier 2 is finished, so the Lich will be starting in a bit. More fiends to come up with this. On the other side, OrcWorker on the way to tier 3 already. Shadowhunter is coming, and the Beastery. So no big surprises, no cheese tactics at all. But OrcWorker at the moment doing a good job in preventing level 3 and maybe getting his own level 3 with a critical strike plus replenishment potion. That was a big one. Stealing this Taskmaster in front of 120's base is pretty damn good.
120 did get away with a lot in the early game. Look at this, he's almost level 3, and so far he only has 2 feet. Like, this is a laughable army. But if we take a look at OrcWorker on the other side, he doesn't have boots. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about this. Actually, here I like it because he, I believe, only bought 1 single heal salve. No boots. He's saving so much money, and that's really good for Orc. That is very, very good for Orc in this matchup because there's so much you need. You need triple hero. You need Orb of Lightning. You need a Kodo. You need Kodo upgrade. You need the Raiders and Instant and all that, of course, as well. And you want to have that up as fast as possible because the tier 3 timing push 400 can be very, very powerful. And I think OrcWorker, well, it's obvious. He is already in a way better position against that timing push than he was last time.
Exactly. AZ seems to suit him a lot better, and especially the 2 snipes. That means that the Lich can get a Claw +9, the Lich can get a Sobi Mask. All the good items, all the big items, except the consumables, are already gone and they're in OrcWorker's inventory. So that's a nice thing. Claws on the Lich, of course, he gets the 2 slippers on this DK, which I don't really understand, but maybe he will swap it over later. This is a big camp for him now, level 3, but still way too far away from level 2, so he can't really do anything. Scouts here, and on the other side we see the Shadowhunter. Level 2, so heal wave online, but he wants the level 2-1, and that's why he's creeping the Sasquatch. Blade Master, it's time to roam now. He has a decent amount of HP, he has okay damage, and he keeps the Lion Horn.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by this. It's not that much gold, it's only 150, but still, as I said before, Orc, you really want to have your arsenal ready. Kind of like Night Elf against Orc, or from the Night Elf side, or you need all this stuff, you know, on tier 3 to be strong. And of course, selling items accelerates the process of getting there. here I think OrcWorker might be missing a bit of an opportunity again. Look what 1-0 is allowed to do with only 3 Fiends. Like, if OrcWorker comes in here, that's an immediate TP. There's no way 1-0 can stay in this. But of course, he's trading this for something else. Did he get level 3 SH? He may have. And again, we have Skeleton Scouting coming out.
Now, and there's an end snare. This might result in a kill if he's lucky with the crits, but there must be coils. Yes, there's the first one. But the end snares are flying and he catches the DK. Will he force the teleporter now? I mean, it's a lot of defense with the Frost Armor. It's only 1 end snare and he just moves out. So no surround and Coil Nova, man. This is such a huge loss for OrcWorker. Without the end snare, without Raiders and the Blade Master being slowed, he can't really move to wherever he wants to. So nice defense by 1-0.
And that wasn't so good for OrcWorker. He sees the creep camp, but he moves in for the creep dragon. It's way too late. And then, where was the heal wave? Man, it was so obvious that Raider was getting Coil Nova'd. So I think OrcWorker, maybe he is feeling the pressure here a little. These are moves and mistakes that I feel he doesn't necessarily usually make. But alright, of course, this game is far from over. He's now gonna creep this camp himself. The natural greater invul, that's a fantastic item right there for his Blade Master. But here comes the creep jack from the undead now. However, there will be a speed scroll to get out.
Yeah, he is attacked again. This time the heal scroll is there. Coil Nova, though, is it enough? He has to pop the invul potion right away. He just found it. It's 46 supply versus 41 now. But look how scared he is. He's diving back into his base. Does he have the orb? Okay, now he does it. Plus 15 damage on the Blade Master and the healing potion. He's aware that hero focus will be coming. We saw it on game 1. We saw it now immediately. So Coil Nova, he has to be afraid of that. Little difference compared to AI. This time it's a Dark Ranger because we will have 3 heroes on the Orcish side. TC has joined the fray.
Alright, and OrcWorker is abandoning his base. He would love to get one more creep camp. Just please, dude, one more for level 3 SH, but he will not be given it. And again, he loses the Voodoo Launch early. This is a big deal, guys. Buying mana potions and clarities on the SH is how you stay alive. Against a push like this, I'm saying, but I'm thinking, well, is it so scary of a push? It's only 3 Fiends, no Destroyers yet, no Banshees. So I don't think even this is so damn scary. Let's see, here we go. One of Illusion being used on the Orc side, going in with the Blade Master. Not going for the statues first, getting focused however. Scroll of Speed and Healing Potion to keep him alive. And it seems like they will be successful. Invul Transfer needs to use it soon and he dodges the coil with it. Well done. Now he's finally getting towards the statues. Usually that's always supposed to be the first target. And Snare, Focus, Fire. Of course they can't be coiled, but the Blade Master can. However, he's moving to the back. He's realizing the danger of losing his first hero. And now he needs heal cells, he needs clarities, he needs mana potions, but where is his shop? It's gone, and so is the Kodo. Double silence on first and second hero. Blade Master will get back. But when Blade Master's not fighting, where is this damage output of the Orc army? Answer is, it isn't really there. He has to be afraid, he's kiting back his Blade Master all the time. No boots of speed now is kind of troublesome for him, makes getting in and connecting with the damage much more difficult. And this is not as, I would say, all in of a time push, because he has the Dark Ranger who's great in the late game, but already this is looking like, how does OrcWorker get the undead out of his face now?
Yeah, there's an Orb of Corruption. He sniped all the units so fast. There's not too much crowd control anymore. He doesn't have mana, as he said. The clarities are super lacking here. He's not rebuilding the shop in his back. He has the resources. Maybe he is a little overwhelmed. Next heal wave, and that's where he wants to join in. What's his focus? He has to go for a hero focus. Oh, silence on the Shadow Hunter. Going for the Blade Master again. Stun comes in. It's first hero versus first hero, but look at this, man. He has to run away, and there's nothing to save him. Blade Master goes down, and GG OrcWorker tapping out again.
My oh my, that was very strong by 1-0, and I must say pretty one-sided. And I'm a little disappointed here because that was worse than what OrcWorker is capable of doing. Absolutely. Usually he does better than this. Maybe the big stage did affect him. Maybe going up against the champion did affect him. And yeah, that's
or maybe 1-0 is just that much better.
Well, he might be, but whatever the case, OrcWorker made mistakes here that really shouldn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, they practiced a lot the past 2 days, and his NetEase games looked quite okay, but yeah, he's just a different caliber, man. 1-0 is, there's no question, he's the best undead in the world, and OrcWorker is, yeah, the best orc in Europe, maybe, with the upcoming cash again, but that's 2 different tiers, and yeah, that was super one-sided for 1-0. It was just, okay, this is my homework, I did it, and now Give me a real challenge.
Yeah, it did definitely look that way in that game, but I think if we take a closer look, OrcWorker, this is not the OrcWorker that I was expecting anyways. But he's not out. He is going to be playing in the lower bracket, and as we've mentioned a couple of times now, he's going to be probably having a better time there. He already showed us that he can defeat Infi. Has he played Colorful ever before? Probably not, right?
Infi?
No, Colorful.
OrcWorker has played Colorful. That is what you are asking.
Yeah. Yes.
Not too sure, to be honest. I have to look it up before the next game. And yeah, the next game will be Infi versus Colorful. Is this still the stream still spiking too much? Then we will lower to 30 FPS. Maybe that helps.